2,245 pounds, a Jayco 12 HSBA frame landed here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. 12-foot box, hard side storage box is what that model number stands for, as far as I've ever been able to determine. And overall, this thing appears to have been definitely used, but very lovingly kept and well maintained. You might notice a silver box on below that left window right there. This actually, you might have noticed a solar panel installed on the front of it. This has a aftermarket installed solar panel, and that is the charge controller. So if you're going to go kind of off-grid boondocking, you can keep the batteries topped off. And if maybe you have a little guest for the weekend, or you're doing some buddy camping, say like during hunting season, you can always fold that dinette down to get an extra sleeping space. But what's cool is it's adult size, because it is just as long as the camper is wide. So the master bed and the guest bed both have the same length to them, which is pretty darn handy. You could maybe put a couple kids there or a full adult and be just fine. You can also clearly see that the table is not centered between those benches. That's because this is a fully free-floating table. And it's a darn big one at that. I mean, you can have 4 adults with a full meal per plate in all at this thing all at the same time. You might also notice this is a carpetless, pet-friendly, easy cleaning camper. There's no seams or funky stuff to work with. Down here on the left, this is a propane furnace. There's a power outlet between those, and that's a little stereo speaker as you go further down. Now, these skylights are deceptively deep. I mentioned how 4 adults could sit there. I'm 6'2", 3-ish, something like that. I'm a pretty fair-sized fella. And I can easily sit with my arm against that wall, no problem. Now, there's 2 methods of heating and 2 methods of cooling in this camper. We already talked about one heating method with that propane furnace. Up top here, we have a 12-volt max air fan. That is awesome and going to be your best friend if you are off-grid, because the front and rear skylights don't open, but all these big side windows open, so you can always get some nice airflow here. Now, in the kitchen area, you can see you've got a stainless sink and an oversized burner system that can fold down to create extra counter space if need be. This is a 3-way refrigerator, meaning 12-volt battery power, 110 shore power, or propane, which also translates to cold, colder, coldest in that order. This down here, this big square Dometic thing, this is the other 2 heating and cooling methods. It's effectively a bi-directional heat pump. Well, that's not effective, that's exactly what it is. But if you don't understand what that means, you know what an air conditioner that you install in the window of a house is, right? Well, this is the exact same thing, except it can push the cold air in and hot air out, or vice versa, so it can heat or cool. Back here, this is a 80-inch long bed. However, it's 54 inches wide, so it's a narrow queen, sometimes probably called a full, since it's not a full queen measurement, but just to give you a reference point there. You see that silver handle on the bed, you can lift it to get to storage below. You can get to the storage below the bed from inside or outside. Now over here, this is more of a travel trailer feature, having a microwave in a camper and TV hookups, but, why not? And it's kind of like the double propane tank system. This is sort of a fold-down travel trailer as much as a pop-up camper. But, overall, I don't see nicks and gouges. There's no signs of any water penetration here. This thing appears to have been well maintained by the previous owners. As I mentioned inside, and as you can clearly see here, they did mount a solar panel right between those 2 skylights right there. Now what's kind of cool about that is when this roof folds down, that section right there will always be exposed. So if you do want to kind of use it as a battery tender when the RV is not being used, you can do that too. The storage trunk on the front gives you roughly 2 feet of additional space. You can flip the top up, or you can access it from the sides, and it does lock on all 3 access points. Aluminum wheels on each side, just because, hey, why not? Let's complete the look, give it a nice sort of eye appeal a little bit there. We do have a water heater on this. It has a 6-gallon vessel. It is a propane-only water heater. What that means is that a 6-gallon vessel on propane will give you 11 gallons of hot water per hour, which in a little trailer like this, considering the sink is well, I guess you do have an outside shower too, but you don't have a lot of things really eating up a lot of propane here. Kind of an interesting little rugged look on this is that diamond plate rear wall on it. And if I get a little closer here, you might notice around the front and rear skylights, you can see slide seam tape. This stuff, while not necessarily always considered visibly, aesthetically appealing, that stuff is absolutely awesome. That is one of the things they use to help lash giant super slide room boxes together. Chances are that slide seam tape will be the last thing to fail on this trailer. That stuff is amazing. If it was prettier, you'd build entire RVs out of it. Now you do have an outside grill hookup station over here just behind that tire. You might also notice the speaker and radio antenna also for the tire. You do have a pair of household outlets out here as well, so if there's something you want to bring outside and plug in, like my daughter just loves the bubble machine, well, you'd be good to go here. Another neat thing, this does have an extended tongue, so if you want to go just bananas adding batteries to this for dry camping, you can. Just keep in mind that that's going to affect your tongue weight if you get a little too crazy with them. Short of that, give us a call, 800-256-5196, Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.